Hi everyone, today I will be showing you how to make this cupcake. It's 3D, it stands on its own, or you can put it on a pencil as a topper if you want. You'll need about 39 single rubber bands for the cupcake itself, and if you want to make the candle, you'll need 6 extra rubber bands. So to start, we're going to have our loom in that configuration, the staggered or offset configuration. And I'm making it where we can put a hook through the back. So taking your single rubber band, you'll need 24 white rubber bands for the icing. So taking a single and putting it diagonally from the center to the side. And you can start anywhere on your loom. Just continue with a single rubber band on your loom, and we are going to make a hexagon shape around your loom, connecting it from one peg to the other. So that's what you should have, and we are going to go ahead and push it all down like that. Now taking a single rubber band, we'll do this 6 times. From any peg, down 1. I'm taking 6 single rubber bands on anywhere on your loom and putting it from the first to the second peg, like that. And now at the end of each peg, we're going to take a single rubber band and we're going to cap it off by looping it once on the end of each of those pegs where we have the 6 rubber bands. Now go under each of the cap band, grab the bottom single and loop up and onto itself, and repeat for all 6. Take your hook and get the rubber band onto your hook with the loop in the hook and the cap band on the other side, and we are going to attach it onto our icing here at the top of our cupcake. So taking the part where the cap band is and putting it on the center of our configuration, the hexagon configuration, and then looping the other side right onto the outside of our hexagon configuration. So one side goes on the center and the other side goes on the outside of our configuration, the hexagon configuration. So once again, get your rubber band onto your hook like that. Where the cap band is, you're going to put it onto the center, and the other side you're going to put it onto the outside of your hexagon peg. So, and I'm staggering it, I'm putting it on, skipping every peg. So I'm putting on this one, skip one, put it on the next one, and the last one I'm going to put here. Once again, the cap band goes in the center, and the other side goes on the outside peg. So now I have 3 on these 3 pegs, and I'm going to put the last 3 on the other 3. You can put it in any order that you want. It really doesn't matter, but I like to do it that way. Once again, get your rubber band onto your hook, putting the cap band side onto the center, and the loops onto the outside of our hexagon shape. And we're going to attach it for the last 2. And make sure you cover all 6 pegs. You can do it in any order, but make sure you put all your rubber bands from the center to the side peg on your hexagon configuration, and make sure each peg gets a rubber band looping. We are going to take our sprinkle color. I'm using pink, blue, and green, and here we are going to put a hook right through the center of our configuration here, the center of hexagon, right through all those rubber bands, and putting it right through the back. Grab one of your sprinkle, grab your hook. This is like tying a slip knot. So we're grabbing the rubber band right back through the center of our configuration, the center peg, and putting it, grabbing the other side, getting it right onto the loop, right onto your hook like a slip knot, and we're going to tie it off. So this holds our center of our cupcake, the icing, together. We're going to do this 3 times, and I'm going to do it on this side, and this side. So once again, we are going to put our hook through the center, get your other sprinkle color, grab one side of it like we're doing a slip knot, because we are tying a slip knot to hold our center of our icing cupcake together. Get one loop through onto our hook, put your hook through, and grab the other side of your rubber band, and we are tying it off. So that's my second sprinkle rubber band that I tied to hold my cupcake, the top of my cupcake, the icing of my cupcake together. The last one, I'm tying it on this side. I'm going through the center of my hexagon, grab my last sprinkle color rubber band, get it on my finger, pull the loop right through the center, getting on your hook, and getting it around the center peg like that to the third side where I want to tie it off. Grab the other side of the rubber band, make sure it doesn't get tangled back here. Get it on my hook and tying your slip knot. So my sprinkles are on the top of the icing of my cupcake. Now I'm going to go on each peg, grabbing the bottom 2 bands, and I'm looping it over to the center of my configuration. Just go to each peg, grab the bottom 2 bands, and looping it up and over the peg to the center of my hexagon. Continue around to all 6 pegs, grabbing the bottom 2 bands, and it's going to be very loose. Now those rubber bands are sticking up in the center, and we'll leave it there for the time being. So that's what your configuration should look like. Your peg should have only 2 rubber bands on each, and we want to push it down to the bottom, taking your last set of rubber bands. So there should be 6 left, and we're going to put it on our loom, again creating the hexagon. And you can start anywhere you want. It's all the same. Now we're going to go on each peg, grab the bottom 2, and looping it up to the center. Just make sure you grab the bottom 2 bands and looping it right to the center of our hexagon configuration here. Push it down when you're done. And now those bands that were sticking out before in the center, we're going to take it and we're going to loop it right back onto the pegs it came off of. So go around, make sure it's not tangled, and just grab the single white that's sticking up in the center around our sprinkle rubber bands, and put it right back onto the pegs, and it should create the hexagon shape once again. So that's what you should have, creating the hexagon shape around the 6 pegs, and our sprinkle rubber bands are still sticking up. So we're taking it and looping it on the 2 pegs closest to them. So for our sprinkle rubber band, we're just taking it and we're looping it on the 2 pegs that's closest to where it's tied, so it's not tangled. So that's what you should have. Now we're going to go on each peg once again, grabbing the bottom 2 bands and looping it up and over the peg that it's on. So go around your hexagon configuration, go to each peg, grabbing the bottom 2 bands and looping it over that peg to the center of our configuration here of our project. So now what's left of the top of our cupcake are 3 single rubber bands, 2 white and 1 sprinkle color on each peg. That's what you should have. Check to make sure that's what you should have. Push it down. And now let's make the bottom of our cupcake, the paper part, and mine's purple, and I'm making it exactly like this one. So taking my purple anywhere, I'm going to start with a single band all around, once again creating our hexagon shape on our loom. It doesn't matter where you start, just make sure it's all connected in the hexagon shape. And now go in each peg once again, grabbing the bottom 3 bands this time, the 2 white and the 1 sprinkle band, and loop it up to the center, up and over to the center of our project here, our cupcake. So take your bottom 3 bands on each peg and loop it to the center. Push it down, taking a single purple twist, double it, and I'm going to put it on the outside peg across like that. So taking a single twist double, and we're covering, we're using 3 rubber bands to cover 6 pegs. So taking a single twist double, and since these 2 are covered, I'm coming over here to these 2, single twist double to these 2. So you should have 3 single rubber bands that are doubled and covering 6 pegs, so you have spaces in between them. Now go in each peg, grab the bottom 2 and looping it onto those rubber bands we just put on. So now our paper cover for our cupcake, or the purple, is onto the single we just doubled, and go onto each peg, grabbing the bottom 2 bands and pulling it right onto those single rubber bands. So that's what you should have right now. Taking your last 3 purple rubber bands, and we're covering it where there are spaces on your loom. So there should be 3 spaces taking your single and just looping it over those 3 spaces on your loom. Now we're going to go on each peg, and we're going to pull the rubber band right onto the single we just looped onto there. Pulling the bottom 2 and getting it onto that single rubber band. And so that it's not confusing us, we're going to tie it off. And here we're going to take it one side off the peg and loop it right onto the other side. And we're going to reach in, grabbing the bottom rubber band, slip the other side off, and pull it to tie it off. So one is done. The next one, here's the rubber band we looped on these two pegs. We're going to pull the bottom 2 off and up and over that peg. Repeat on the other side. Pull it right off and onto the center of that single rubber band, onto that single rubber band, pulling one side, looping it onto the other one like that. Reach in, grab the bottom single band that's on that peg, and pull it off to tie it. And repeat for the last one. Once again, we're pulling, going under, grabbing the bottom 2 bands, looping it over that peg. Repeat for this other one, and getting one side off of your peg, looping it right onto itself or the partner, and going in, grabbing the bottom band and tying it off, pulling it tightly. Our cupcake is done. Pull it very carefully. You can hold on to those slip knot rubber bands. There should be 3 of them. And pull your cupcake right off the loom. There's your cupcake. And to create more sprinkles, we're going to put our hook through any hole of our icing on top, pulling the slip knot rubber band through to create more icing on our cupcake. Just go right around and pull the 3 slip knot rubber band through the top, putting a hook through the top of our icing, going to the bottom and grabbing our slip knot and kind of pull it down so our purple icing or sprinkle isn't very prominent. So here's your cupcake, and if you just want to make the cupcake, you're done. But if you want to make the candle, let's take a single rubber band, twist, double, anywhere on your loom, coming from the first to the second peg, and the candle color now, mine will be pink, taking a single, again, twist, double, and coming down 3 times on a loom. Single, twist, double. Taking your last candle color and capping that off 4 times on the end peg, like that. Go under the cap band, grab the bottom 2 single, loop up and onto itself, creating teardrops, and just continue up the loom. Lastly, taking your last single rubber band, twist, double it, and we're going to create a slip knot for the light of our candle, getting the loops onto your hook, pulling the bottommost and tying it off. That's your candle, and let's take it off the loom. That's your candle. Go in the hole in the bottom, put your hook right through that center hole, grab the 4 rubber bands the slip knot rubber band and pull it right inside our cupcake so it stays there. So there's your candle for your cupcake. If you want, you can take a pencil and stick it over the eraser part as a topper, or you can just use it as a cupcake for your American Girl doll. So these are your cupcake. I hope you like them. Thanks for watching.